Long ago, in a quiet kingdom nestled between two mountain ranges, there lay a small border village called Darwaspur. Its name meant the Land of the Gate, and true to its title, it was the last checkpoint before entering the deep, misty forest that no one dared cross. The only road into the kingdom passed through this village. Standing guard at the lone wooden gate was an old man named Baba Saleem. For over 40 years, Saleem had been the village watchman. Through winter blizzards, scorching summers, and terrifying storm nights, he never once left his post. He wore the same faded green coat, a turban worn soft with time, and carried an old lantern that had become a symbol of hope for the villagers. Many people called him foolish. "What's the point?" they would ask. "No enemy has crossed these gates in decades." But Baba Saleem never listened. "I took an oath," he would say simply, polishing his lantern every evening. Faithfulness is not about being needed, it's about being ready. One spring morning, a royal horseman arrived in Darwaspur. He brought a scroll sealed with the king's insignia. A crowd gathered to hear the proclamation. By order of King Feroz IV, the military outpost at Darwaspur is hereby closed. The forest is declared safe. The gate shall be taken down. The watchman is no longer required. People gasped and cheered. Young men danced. For the first time in years, they were free. But Baba Saleem simply stood still. He bowed his head, unrolled a rug beside the gate, and sat down. The mayor approached him. "Old man, it's over. You've been faithful enough. Go home." But Saleem said softly, "I took an oath. I was appointed not by the king, but by my conscience. I will leave when the gate no longer opens, not when people say it doesn't need to." The villagers laughed at him. Children teased him, calling him Baba Ghost Guard. But Saleem remained. Years passed. The gate remained, though overgrown with vines. The king had forgotten it, but Baba Saleem did not. He woke every day at sunrise, swept the path, lit his lantern at dusk, and wrote a short report on a worn notebook. Sometimes travelers came, lost, weary, or robbed. Saleem gave them water, patched their wounds, and sent them onward. He never asked for payment. "The gate must welcome and protect," he would say. He lived on scraps, grew vegetables, and slept on a cot under the stars. No one came to check on him anymore. Then one night, a shadow moved in the woods. It was the third night of the new moon, and the woods were darker than ever. Baba Saleem, now weak and grey, heard something. Footsteps. He stood slowly, lantern in hand. A man emerged, cloaked in black, bleeding from the arm. Behind him, 3 figures on horseback thundered down the forest path. "Please," the man gasped, "hide me." Saleem didn't ask who he was. He simply opened the gate and led him into a hollow beneath a stack of firewood. Moments later, the riders arrived. "Old man," shouted one, "have you seen a man pass through here?" Saleem stared, his eyes steady. "Only the wind has passed tonight." The leader dismounted and stared him down. "You're lying." Saleem did not move. The men searched briefly but grew impatient and rode off. Only when the woods were still did Saleem lift the firewood. The stranger looked up with tears. "You saved me." Saleem nodded. "The gate protects." By the morning, the stranger looked stronger. Baba Saleem brought him some broth made from lentils and wild herbs. "I must keep moving," said the man. "But before I go, you deserve to know who I am." He unwrapped the black cloak. Saleem's old eyes widened. Beneath the dirt and blood was a royal medallion, a lion carved in sapphire. "I am Prince Amir, son of King Feroz. Last night my step-uncle tried to assassinate me. He wants the throne." Saleem remained quiet, absorbing the weight of the truth. "You risked your life for a stranger," the prince said. "Why?" "I wasn't helping a prince," Saleem replied. "I helped a man in need. That's what I was placed here to do." Amir bowed his head. "One day I will repay this. I swear on my life." But Baba Saleem only nodded. "Swear it on your faithfulness, not your power." With that, the prince disappeared into the forest. Months passed. Seasons changed. The villagers heard whispers about a coup in the capital, but details were scarce. Some said the prince had been killed. Others said he had fled far away. To them, it didn't matter. But to Baba Saleem, it did. Each night, he lit the lantern in case Amir ever returned. The children who once teased him were now grown men and women. Many had moved away. A few old villagers occasionally left food at his post, out of pity or guilt, but no one joined him. Then came the great sickness. A strange fever swept through the valley. It began with the children, then the elders. Within weeks, the roads were empty. The village locked itself indoors. Baba Saleem, as always, remained at the gate. He caught the fever too. His bones ached and his vision blurred. Yet, even in his weakness, he dragged himself out to light the lantern each evening. One day, a young boy came running up to him. He had tears in his eyes. "Baba, my mother, she can't breathe." Saleem struggled to rise, but managed. He followed the boy into the village, coughing and shivering, yet determined. He did what he could, used old herbal remedies, rubbed fevered foreheads and prayed softly. He nursed 3 children and 2 elders back to life in just 1 week. Word spread. The old gatekeeper has healing hands. But Baba Saleem only smiled and said, "I keep watch, whether over gates or souls." 1 year later, the fog lifted. The plague had passed. Darwashpur began to breathe again. But Baba Saleem, now frail and barely able to speak, kept to his duties. Then, on a morning as golden as memory, the sound of royal drums echoed through the valley. A procession of riders approached. They wore blue and gold. Trumpets flared, banners rose. At the front was a man in shining armor with the same sapphire medallion now glowing in sunlight. It was Prince Amir, but not as a fugitive. He now rode as King Amir I, sovereign of the realm. The villagers gathered in disbelief. Amir stepped down, walked past them all, and knelt before the old gate. He bowed before Baba Saleem. Amir took Baba Saleem's hand. "Because of you," he said loudly, "I lived. Because of your faithfulness, I made it to the mountains, raised an army, and reclaimed my throne. You guarded the forgotten while others mocked. You lit the lantern when the world was dark." He turned to the villagers. "This man is more than a watchman. He is the last true guardian of the realm." From his robe, Amir drew out a golden box. Inside was a new lantern, crafted with silver and glass, with Baba Saleem's name engraved on it. But Saleem simply shook his head. "This old one will do," he said softly, pointing to his rusted lamp. "It's seen more darkness than any new light could imagine." Amir smiled. "Then let it shine forever." Baba Saleem passed away quietly that winter, his lantern still glowing beside him. The king ordered that the gate of Darwaspur never be torn down. Instead, it was rebuilt in white stone and renamed the Gate of Faithfulness. Beside it, a statue was carved, an old man, lantern in hand, eyes watching the horizon. Travelers now bow at the gate before entering the kingdom, and the story of Baba Saleem is taught in every royal school, not because he fought with swords, but because he kept his word. Moral of the story. True faithfulness isn't about reward, applause, or recognition. It is about remaining loyal when no one else is watching. The world needs more Baba Saleems, people who honor their duty not for fame but for conscience.